We're going over to Ohio, and a police chief in a little Ohio town just got canned for refusing to take a drug test after the mayor came in and said the smell of marijuana coming from his office could knock you off your feet. So in New Miami, Ohio, it's this little town of just over 2,000 people. Mayor Jule Hensley and Police Chief Harold Webb, sorry, I can't speak right now. Police Chief Harold Webb have been nursing a pretty epic rivalry for a while now. But the mayor might be using marijuana to come out on top of this one. So the mayor just shows up at the police office, right? She's there to collect the chief's time log. She's accusing him of falsifying his timesheets. It's a whole thing. But the first thing she says when she steps into the office is, "Who's been smoking weed in here?" So apparently she smelled weed. She walked around and found the police chief in the garage area with a buddy of his. And apparently that was enough to accuse him of smoking weed and force him to take a drug test. Right? She even had an attorney serve the guy a letter instructing him to take a piss test by 5 p.m. the next day or face disciplinary action. Although I don't know what discipline he was going to face for that, but whatever. And the police chief just comes back and says, look, there's 850 grams of marijuana we seized sitting in the police office, and that's what you smelled, guys. Sounds pretty reasonable to me, but the guy still showed up for the pee test. But the final line he drew in the sand, the line he would not cross, was when the mayor arranged for a nurse to physically watch him pee as an official witness. I mean, the poor guy just threw his hands up, said that's enough, and he walked out. He called the whole process belittling. He then texted the mayor and said, you know what, you win, all right? And he promised he'd put in his letter of resignation later that evening, saying he was tired of his integrity being questioned. Well, he didn't, and he got fired. But a look into how they got to this whole point in the first place kind of reveals this little hilarious feud that is part small town rap beef, part the Real Housewives of nowhere, Ohio, right? It's kind of funny. So both of these participants have held their current position for under a year, right? But they've been going back and forth the whole time. And part of the mayor's complaint here, part of her complaint is that the police chief, well, hasn't been very nice to her at all. In fact, he's been harassing her over a car she abandoned on the side of the road after it broke down. That's not very nice. And she even said that the mayor, he caused the last mayor to turn on her after he complained about her harassing the police chief. And all the other officials in the government have been disrespecting her through mean, nasty little emails. They've been being so not nice to her that she had to go to the hospital to get a heart monitor installed, all because of all that stress she's under. She even tried to get the police chief suspended for taking hot dogs from a gas station. I guess he was only allowed free coffee, but come on, man. She tried to fire him when his wife made comments on the town's Facebook page that she said degraded me as mayor. And then she got the whole page taken down because she didn't like the comments. She tried to get this guy canned for refusing to answer 911 calls when the town's police force is part-time. And when they're not working, those calls get rolled over to the county sheriff's office. So after all of that, after all of this, she comes in and accuses him of smoking weed in the police station. My God. And at the end of the day, after all that, he just never turned in his resignation, and they voted to fire him right then and there. So yeah, there might be a few facts I don't have here, guys. There's two sides to every fight, but I'm getting some pretty hard Karen vibes here, man. Marijuana has been legalized in Ohio by popular ballot. They're surrounded by states that have all legalized marijuana. So in light of that, I want to make a request to New Miami, Ohio. Guys, let's leave marijuana out of this. It had nothing to do with you, and this has nothing to do with this fight. As a matter of fact, you know what? You both should light up and talk this out, and maybe you'd be able to get beyond this ridiculousness pretty quick. That's what I think.